Candyman is a 2021 supernatural slasher film directed by Nia DaCosta, who co-wrote the screenplay with Jordan Peele and Wynn Rosenfeld. It is a direct sequel to the 1992 film and the fourth film in the Candyman film series. So, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Have you seen this movie before you watched it?
I have not. I was actually excited, especially because I didn't realize that it was from Monkey Paw. And then as soon as I saw that and I heard the choir, I was like, he gets me every time with that choir.
Got
Here
you.
I am.
Like the Us choir?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about it?
I liked it a lot, actually. Parts of it, I think, could have been omitted, but I think it was a little bit smoother with the Candyman lore, violence, and attacks and everything. I think it was a smooth transition into that.
Okay.
The original, I even rewatched our video because I was trying to remember all the little details, because when they started talking about beheading a Rottweiler, I was like, wait, she did that? And
Well,
I watched it back and I was like, well, no, she didn't, but
Helen didn't, but somebody did.
Yeah. And I remember that we commented that it was almost an hour before you saw the actual Candyman. And in this case, you see an iteration of him very early on, and it's just a constant force.
Okay.
But
interesting.
How about you? What did you think of it?
I liked it. I think the pacing was a kind of a mess for me, to be honest. I feel like, to your point, we could have cut some things. But the movie's only an hour and a half, but I feel we could have also expanded on others. So I just felt things were kind of disjointed, personally. I will say, visually, the cinematography is amazing. I like the new lore, which we'll get into a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, it just kind of, by the end, I was like, what just happened? I'm kind of confused, to be honest. So
Right. Yeah, to your point, I did think an hour and a half, this will be over very quickly. But then when it kept on adding extra scenes and kind of throwing in extra lore, because it felt like it was trying to cover a lot of topics all at once. So I was like, oh, now we have to get into this too. And then it just made it feel longer.
There's some scenes that I want to talk about that didn't need to be there at all, I think. And then once they summon Candyman, Anthony summons Candyman, it's just almost a flip of the switch. I feel like there's no build-up. He's just possessed by Candyman. You know, he's really entangled in what's happening with him.
Yeah, he's pretty much obsessed from the start. But I do have complaints about his hand, but we can get into that the more we keep talking about the plot and everything.
You didn't like his hand? What was wrong with his hand? It looked great.
I'm sure you thought it was wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, it was
it was a great hand.
It was not disgusting in any way, shape, or form.
No.
That's what my hand looks like. Just
someone comes to chop it off and you barely look inconvenienced by that.
Yeah, it's all at the end.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony's not here with us, Mrs. Torrance. That is a whole thing.
Yeah, true.
But I think overall I enjoyed it. There were some misses for me. Did you like this better than the 1992 original?
I did. I think it made it interesting with the different iterations of Candyman, feeding all into this giant myth legend that Anthony is taking on. Mm-hmm. And I think it makes it a more powerful symbol. Whether or not, he's kind of like a vigilante killer or just comes whenever he's summoned and kills whoever summoned him gets kind of muddled to me. And we had that kind of issue in the original, I think, as well.
Yeah.
But I think it makes it more interesting, more deep. I did like the storytelling aspects too with the little puppets.
Oh, yeah. Those were fantastic.
Yeah, I liked it better. I don't know about
interesting.
You.
No.
No? Okay.
No, I think I like the original better. I think, like I said, it just felt a little all over the place to me. I think the original story was more interesting. Like I said, I do like where they took Candyman in this one to make it a little bit different. I was just a little disappointed at the end, but overall it was still a fun time.
I think there is definitely an argument between this story should happen to a white person and this story should happen to a black person, because like Anthony's almost needed to keep the legend alive. But then Helen also is ruining it for them. So, but then he's also in love with her. It's a little confusing. So,
yeah,
you can't really tell like what the purpose is sometimes of it all.
So diving into the plot just a little bit, I don't know if you remembered the baby's name in the first one. So this question might be a little silly, but did you catch on that he was the baby from the first one?
Not immediately, but then I did end up looking at the notes because I was like, oh, I want to make sure I'm focusing on parts that we're going to talk about. And then you said like the Anthony was the baby thing. And I was like, well, that makes sense. When the brother is telling the story, I think he mentioned that the baby's name is Anthony. So it's kind of a coincidence that they would have the same name.
Yeah.
And also, I think when I found out there was a remake of this, I did find somewhere that it was going to be about the baby returning to the lore of Candyman.
Did you like that we kind of circled back to some of the original characters in the first one, since this is basically a direct sequel and we kind of ignored parts 2 and 3?
Yeah, that's why I ended up watching our first video on the original, because I was like trying to remember if all of the lore was correct, if they were changing things, and it seems like they're following it pretty closely. So yeah, I liked the continuation. I just think, it's a big span of time with the sequels as well, to be like, oh, now I have to remember everything that happened in the original, whether or not that's true. I do like the circularness of it, like generational trauma in a way, what happened to Burke's sister and him as a child witnessing Sherman's death. And like circling back to the legend and kind of putting that on Anthony, knowing he would come back. I think that's interesting. I didn't suspect him at all. I thought he was just really there to give exposition, really.
Oh, Sherman? Wait.
Burke.
We talked about Sherman.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think the whole like ending to me drops the ball.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the Burke Sherman storyline, it like flips the script of not being about Anthony. I wish we just like dealt with Anthony the whole time, and then all of a sudden it's like a stereotypical slasher where Bree's running and being chased kind of a thing. I don't know.
By Burke of all people, it's not even Anthony. And does Burke like stab himself on Anthony's hook before he chases her? Because he wasn't bloody before in the scene in the church, but then when he finds her again, like he's got like blood running down his shirt. I don't know if it's from when he cut the arm off or what.
Wait,
but
Burke has
like,
blood?
Yeah, he looks like he's bleeding to me.
I don't think I caught that, to be honest.
Because I don't know if he just like stabbed himself to like when the police came, they could say that he was attacked.
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know that. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really catch it.
It might have been blood from when he cut off the arm as well. But yeah, there was blood like all over the front of his shirt.
Oh, shit. Yeah, probably when he cut off the arm then, I would say. With the ending where Anthony isn't chasing Bree and he comes back because Bree gets arrested and then says Candyman, and then the iterations of Candyman comes back. Do you like how it wrapped up like that?
No. Not necessarily, just because if it was true to lore, he would have just came back and killed her. That would have been it. And I thought that was maybe what she was going for, because she was kind of in a corner at that point. So either she'd have to lie, and because that's what the police wanted her to do, or say that that wasn't true and go to prison for life. So
right. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought he would just come in, take her out, and that would be enough to keep the legend going or whatever. But no, he comes back and kills all of the police that killed him. And then it becomes more vigilante thing because they didn't summon him. He's just there. Also, I believe in every other scene, and maybe it's just because Anthony hadn't been added to the Candyman repertoire yet.
The repertoire.
Every scene where he attacks somebody, you see him in a mirror and he's not physically there. But now that Anthony is dead, he is physically there. You don't see him just in the mirrors. You see him in the window. Or maybe Brianna sees him because she knows.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I hate to just keep talking about the rules of Candyman because, like, I don't know if I'm missing something.
No, I
If
feel like
there's,
it's
like,
really easy to get hung up on the rules.
Like, what am I supposed? Because, like, what if it ended and she's like, oh, I'm gonna summon Candyman? Because, like, how would she know that he was gonna come and kill the cops? Like,
Yeah.
in my mind, that makes sense. But to your point, if we could just kind of jump real quick to the scene where Sherman's a kid and his
Mhm.
sister and friend summon Candyman and he kills them, and I'm like, why are we
Yeah.
killing innocent people? Like, I
Yes.
don't get that, I guess. But I did find, because I was doing some research on it, like I went to Reddit, and I did find like a really interesting comment from somebody that I would like to read. It's kind of long. So it was on a Reddit thread about movie plot holes. This was from 4 years ago. Dangerous Cup 6803 asked the question, why did Candyman kill the little girl in the bathroom? And it's an unexplained event plot hole. They said, I thought Candyman was killing white people and the oppression they enforced on them. So I find it weird he killed a little black girl in the bathroom, unless I'm missing the point in the movie, which is kind of my thought too. So, user BDo1 commented the following. Candyman was a hive mind. It is a collective of different black male souls lost to violence to form the poltergeist entity we know as Candyman. The soul that killed Billy Burke's sister and her friend in the bathroom was Sherman Fields. Sherman was a homeless, mentally ill African-American man with a hook for a hand. Suspected of giving a white child a razor blade and a piece of candy, Sherman is beaten to death by police but later proven innocent when more cases of razor blades and candies come up. Sherman was seen offering candy in the intro of the film to a young Billy Burke before his death. When young Billy's sister and friends summon Candyman in the mirror, he murders them violently. What the directors were trying to convey with this scene is that unresolved mental illness can result in violence against black girls and women by black men. The entire film was an allegory on where society is right now, and to point out that Candyman was no hero or vigilante. This wasn't a film about black vengeance against white bodies, but how violence can manifest in different ways by a collective of males, including black ones too. Billy Burke, who eventually grew up, began to enact that same violence against other black bodies by targeting Anthony McCoy and his spouse Brianna Cartwright to continue the generational curse and keep the legend alive. Not only are we seeing violence in America's society perpetrated by other racial groups, like how the cops murdered Sherman and Anthony, but within black groups as well, specifically towards women and girls. The truth is, there's no resolve for violence and why men do it. So what are your thoughts on that? I don't know if this is like gospel, like if this is like just their thoughts.
I don't know if that's really the case. I know that my friend Shantae is a counselor, and she does speak about violence towards black women especially. So I guess that could be an underlying tone to this as well, because if you think about it really, like how many women were attacked by Candyman summoning him in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess it's interesting, especially with like the untreated mental health and Brianna's father's history. So I guess.
I don't know. Like, it could have just been explained away of like just keeping the legend alive, because that's a lot what we talk about in the first one is just keeping that legend going.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just an interesting way to maybe justify why he's killing other black people. In my head, if it were up to me, like Candyman would be not as villainous as he is. Like, I don't get it. But again, I'm a white guy. I don't know if there's like things I'm missing. Like, this explanation makes sense. I just don't know if that was the thought there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it can be read to be that way, but I feel like you could read a lot of how Candyman operates and wonder what that all means. Like, obviously, the before comment was like, why would he kill a black child? And I almost wonder if it's more or less just like keeping the legend alive is to prove that these sort of acts are still happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Burke knew that the police would come and shoot Anthony. Like, there would be no question about it. And as we see too, like, he's not really putting up a fight anymore. He's just laying on the ground, bleeding to death, and they shoot him anyway. And I know that's also why he really wanted Brianna there to bear witness and spread the tale, like, you know, this violence against black people is still happening out in the world.
Yeah.
I don't want to read too far into it, obviously, because it isn't our experience, but
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of different themes you could take from this.
Oh, yeah. This movie covers quite a bit. I mean, there's themes of gentrification, generational trauma, which you already mentioned, and the construction of urban legends. So I feel like we could talk about like the theming in this movie for hours.
Yes.
So it's just trying to pick away at like some of the inconsistencies or at least the things that I view as inconsistencies.
It seems very back and forth to me, especially if you include the ending scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, because before that, it seems strictly whoever summoned him would be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So for Brianna to be left to tell the legend. And I don't know why Anthony would need to go along with Burke's plan at that point either. But I guess since he's Candyman now, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Anthony's like in that weird trance, and Burke totally takes advantage of that. Like how would Burke know any of this was going to happen?
Well, he did say that he knew that Anthony would come back because he was tied to the legend.
Yeah.
And, he's almost clairvoyant with how far he imagines that this will go, because how would you know that, like, one, he would come back asking about Candyman, he would be obsessed with Candyman, he'd be painting Candyman, lose his arm to Candyman. Like,
it was all very, everything fell into place a little too perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Burke's like, I know exactly how this is going to happen.
Work. And maybe it's like you can't escape your fate type situation, the circle nature that you kind of mentioned. Like, you think you escape any kind of oppression, but there you go, you're back to square one. Which actually brings me to another question I had for you. So we see Brianna. I mean, she's a pretty smart, like, horror character where she's like, I don't want to hear about that. I want nothing to do with this, but somehow she still gets roped in at the end.
The neighborhood is haunted.
Everywhere is haunted.
Troy, do not start with that.
You guys want to hear a scary story?
No.
Yeah.
Do you think there's some kind of theming there in terms of like you could try to escape it, but it's not? I don't like that because it's kind of bleak, but like you could try to escape what you're running from or trying to turn a blind eye to, but it could happen to you, kind of a situation.
Yeah, perhaps. I think more or less her story was to revolve around the generational trauma with mental illness.
Okay.
Because obviously we both know with like the older generation, there's a big stigma with, mental health not being treated. Like, rub some dirt in it, you'll be fine, stop crying.
Truly.
And I think that's just to show, how it affects her when Anthony starts to take that similar turn as her father did and become delusional. So maybe it's just that cycle of trauma, like how they would say that people that have been assaulted have a likelihood of being assaulted again.
Mm-hmm.
Attackers kind of like see that in you, see that that's happened somehow to you before. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's a good thought. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking like in terms of Anthony coming back to Cabrini-Green, and then we have Brianna. There's also like dealing with the trauma that's happening to Anthony also affects her. So I wasn't sure. But no, that connects it to like kind of the mental health thing, which I didn't think about.
But I also feel like mainly she is there just to bear witness, honestly, too, because I feel like the trauma, nice touch, but also like there's so much else going on in this. We didn't really even need to think about the mental state of this and what happened with her father. Like, we could have just seen kind of Anthony spiral and that would have been enough. We wouldn't have to know her backstory. Like, obviously, what's happening to him is shocking and terrible.
Yeah, so, Brianna, this ain't about you.
I guess it's because they want that cyclical motion throughout the whole movie with Anthony coming back, her mental health with her father, then Anthony. But I feel like mainly her reason is to bear witness.
It's funny because, talking about the rules and stuff with Candyman, it's like he's not bound by anything really, so he could do whatever he wants. Like,
so I guess he can
have to kill people.
Yeah, he could see Brianna and be like, "You get a pass as long as you like spread some gossip about me."
Yeah,
I did think it was interesting too. They brought back Tony Todd at the end too, like with the face changing.
Yeah, for like a second.
Yeah, just to say like,
tell everyone.
Fan service as finest. If you answered this question, apologies, but do you like the new version of it being a Hivemind where it's a bunch of guys? Or do you prefer the Tony Todd, Daniel Robital only situation. I know we both said we liked the new lore change, but I wasn't sure like your exact thoughts on that.
I do like it, how like all of these terrible events that happened to Black men have basically culminated into this one giant entity that now Anthony is impersonating and taking over. So yeah, I like the combination because obviously it was fine in the original movie, but it's more than one case. There's so many different cases of violence against Black people. So of course, I feel like it makes much more sense if that's what they're going for to embody more people into the hive mind. Especially, I think it's a nice tie-in with the bees as well. Not only about his death, but because it's more than one of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it as well. I would be curious to like what again with rules. What are the criteria to become one of the Candymen? Like, how is it the amount of trauma you go through? Is it the area that you're killed in? Like, I'm just curious. Like, how does one become a iteration of Candyman?
Yeah, asking for a friend. But
No, I'm just thinking through.
Yeah, I am not sure. I feel like Anthony was tied into the legend, so I wonder if they did any sort of prequel story writing, if somehow the other people that are involved in the whole Candyman lore, like Sherman and all of them that go back all the way to, what was the first man's name?
Daniel Robital?
Yes, going all the way back to Daniel Robital, that like there's always like some sort of connector, like meeting them as a child, giving them the candy kind of thing. I don't know, I think. But to me, though, if you really think about it, wouldn't it make more sense if Burke was Candyman then, too?
Yeah, I mean, if he died somehow, tragically.
But
maybe.
he was already dead when they got there, so... But I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're...
Because
they
Brianna
both could
kills
have.
him. But, yeah, Brianna kills him, but...
Yes.
She does...
She makes sure this man is very dead.
Think he's dead.
But I guess since it's not really tying into the legend of it, then maybe he gets a pass.
Maybe because he didn't summon him.
Yeah,
he used Anthony. That's rude.
Yeah, very rude, honestly. Anthony also did technically summon him with Brianna, and they never were attacked by him directly, at least. Aside from the bee sting.
Yeah. Maybe because he knew it was Anthony, so he's like, I'm not going to attack you. I'm going to finish what I started.
Absorb you, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
When do we talk about the hand?
Oh, we can talk about the hand now if you want.
Oh, God, I need to talk about the hand.
Okay, talk about the hand, girl.
The hand.
The hand.
The hand is everything, honestly.
In a bad way, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, everything in the worst way. And I was so distracted by the fact that this man had the worst staph infection I've ever seen in my life, like just happening on his hand. And I was like, it's because he's attractive. No one's even given a shit about this hand that is oozing and leaking and all mangled and everything at the end. And no one even mentions it until like maybe 40 minutes or before he actually dies.
I know. Sorry, I pulled up my notes because I took notes sometimes when I'm watching the movie. I said, bro, please go to the doctor and check out that hand.
Even the doctor just put a cast on it. Like, yep, that'll take care of it.
It is extending to his neck at one point.
The holes. Oh.
No one seems to give a shit. Hello? Does anyone else see what's happening here? Right. Or am I crazy?
Right. And I was like, it's because this man is very charming. Because, like, he's flirting with that girl when he checks out his books, like, to read Helen's file and listen to her tape. And I was like, how would she not clock that? And she wants to keep flirting with this man.
I truly, I have no idea. I don't understand. Because, that was like one of the few notes I wrote while actually watching the movie. I'm like, are we...
And anybody here concerned about the hand?
No one. Not even him, really. He's like, this is fine.
When he finally goes to the hospital, then he leaves. Like, I would be like, well, I want to keep the hand, so... Let's get this treated, whatever this is.
No, he's like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I wonder if Burke somehow summoned him back, though. Because all of a sudden, like, he leaves the hospital seeming determined.
I don't, what you say, Burke summoned him? Or?
Well, not like summoned him, but, not like the traditional Candyman summoning, but.
Come hither,
like
Anthony.
Come hither. But he felt like the pull to go see him. Maybe he wanted to ask him more questions. I don't know.
Yeah, I just, the ending was so like rushed and discombobulated to me. I'm like, we could have seen the events a little bit better of where we ended up.
A little bit. Yeah. Like I said, I thought Burke was definitely an exposition character just to pass along the lore that no one else was there to give. And then he's like, no, I am actually very evil. And
Evil! Yeah, I mean, I do like that they brought him full, like, they didn't just use him for that, because that's, to me, pretty lazy, but just, the dots were not connecting to me, but.
Do you think maybe his sister was killed, Burke's sister, after she summoned Candyman because of not stopping the police when Sherman was beaten and killed?
Oh, like revenge?
Yeah, like, maybe that's why.
I mean, perhaps. That's a pretty shitty thing to do to a kid.
Yeah.
Like, what's the kid gonna do?
Right.
Like, hello? If he's bad like that, which we have determined Candyman is not necessarily good or bad. Both, but none. I don't know. That's pretty shitty. If that's what he was doing that for. He's like, I'm gonna kill your sister. What are you gonna do, 9-year-old boy?
Because he like smiles at him and waves his hook like, yep, I figured this out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, but that's pretty messed up if that's the case.
I feel like you can sum up Candyman's lore by sometimes. Just say sometimes for everything.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna go with. Candyman, meh.
Sometimes.
If I feel like it. So, for our ratings, we will rate 4 aspects of the movie out of 3. We'll total that all up to get our 13 score. So, Stephanie, what did you give Candyman?
Okay, I gave plot a 2. I gave suspense a 1. Gave atmosphere a 1. I really want to preface this that atmosphere was a 1 because I think the first movie did atmosphere a lot better with all of the graffiti, all of the holes in the wall, and the abandoned buildings of Cabrini-Green. This just felt like we were going from location to just hopping around. And then villain, I gave a 2 because he is scary, but also a little confusing. And the extra point I said, well, yes.
Well, yes. So 7 overall?
Yes, that's right.
You make a good point about atmosphere. I'm thinking about dropping mine. Because it really hinges.
I was really interested on what you would have to say for atmosphere because that's how I felt about it. But.
Well, I'll keep it. I gave plot a 2 out of 3, suspense a 1 out of 3, atmosphere a 2 out of 3, and this really hinges on the ending and the row houses. But I really think I should lower that because that's not a lot of the movie. We're seeing like fancy apartments and art galleries and. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it. Real time, we're dropping it to 1. You convinced me. Yeah, it's not that much, honestly, except for the end there.
I just felt like we were really enmeshed in it whenever Helen visited Cabrini-Green, that it was so terrifying that he would be around every corner.
Yeah.
And in this case, it just wasn't that. We were in high-rise apartments mostly and art galleries and paintings. And which, I mean, the paintings add to it a little bit. When Brianna walks in on Anthony's paintings of Candyman, those are disturbing, but it's not really where we're spending all of our time.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I'm going to drop it down to 1. Villain, 2 out of 3. Very similar reasoning to you. He's creepy. I like the lore, but confusing. And honestly, I mean, there's an element of empathy with it, you know? Like these men died in very tragic ways. So not to say I get it, because he's doing things he should not be doing. But
it kind of like rides that line of like a good for her, even though it's not like a her.
I know.
But you know what I mean.
Good for him, but also don't be killing innocent little girls. That's where I'm getting pissed at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe you should rethink these.
Yeah. And then extra point, I almost didn't. But I think overall it was good. There were some good kills, and I think it expanded the lore in an interesting way. So I did give it my extra special point. So then basically we have the same exact scores for 7 as my total out of 13.
Twinsies.
Yay!
Yay.
It's not like super scary. It does raise a lot of interesting questions. And I mean, as you can see, we could talk about these themes all day, but
yeah, I would say the art dealer's death with the young girlfriend was probably the
well
most
deserved.
interesting, entertaining, because like she gets her throat slit. It is like wide open, and he is like, "What's happening? Are you faking this?" Like, no.
Yeah. I wanted to bring them up, but I'm like, fuck those two. And the shitty thing is, his name's Clive, right?
Mm-hmm.
People think they named that character after Clive Barker, who wrote the story that the Candyman is based off of. And if this was like your idea of an homage to him, I'm like, that is shitty.
Right.
To give him that character,
yeah.
rude. No,
A little.
absolutely not.
Yeah, you could find anybody else.
Anybody else? Any other name?
Why not make Burke Clive? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't? Burke was also bad.
Well, it's perpetrating the legend, though. So
okay,
like it's like one of those like, is Candyman bad? Like, sort of. Like,
yeah.
Thank
you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel to be notified when we post new episodes, and of course, let us know if there's any movies you'd like us to cover next.
You can find us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.